Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, February 18th, 2020. This is Jennifer. I have a few fun things to share today, and it's going to be a little bit different, but I think it'll work out fine. I recorded a little bit last week outside with a couple of quilts, but without me because it was raining and gross and I didn't want to set up outside again. So what I'm going to do is tell you about the quilts and just show you the video. So I did finish the Project Linus kit, and I've told you guys about this previously. I found a kit at Savers, I think it was $3, and it had the pattern, the fabric, the batting, the binding. It had everything. It literally had everything I needed to make this quilt. I didn't realize it was a Project Linus kit until I got it home. All I saw was a big wad of batting and some fabric, and I thought, well, that's great. I can use that batting for my charity quilts. But since it belonged to a group up in the Dallas area, I decided to make it and send it back to them, and so that is what I have done. The pattern is called Two's Company. It's by Carrie Patch Design. It is a commercial pattern, so I will link to that in the description. This was almost as done as it could be and not be sewn together. The only thing that I really had to cut were the big 4 patches and the borders. Everything else was pre-cut, ready to sew. I got it put together really quickly during a sew day with friends. I told you guys last week I've been doing some testing to figure out what's going on with my stitch regulator, and I quilted this one on manual. So I just did wavy lines across, and I was the stitch regulator. It came out great. It is finished, not just finished, but I mailed it yesterday. So it's back on its way to where it came from, and I was really glad to get to do that and return it to the group who created the kit. I also sort of accidentally finished up one of the quilts that I was using as a tester while I was figuring out all the stitch regulator problems, and this is a little quilt top that I made at the Sandbox Sisters retreat that we had in November. It was made out of orphan block, so if you see your block, let me know. I did a meander all over this quilt, watching to see what the stitch regulator was doing. It was basically making a random long stitch here and there. Anyway, so this was my tester. I got it done sitting next to my sewing machine with the binding all pre-cut, and Friday I just sat down and finished it, did a little video, washed it, donated it to Linus on Saturday, so it is also gone. So the update on my stitch regulator is that I talked to tech support from Grace a couple of times last week, and they're sending me new encoders. I think one of my encoders got damaged when I had it serviced last year, so they're sending me a new one, and I will let you know how that goes. So it'll probably be a week. It's usually their stuff's pretty slow coming usually, so I will let you guys know if that fixes the problem, and you'll probably know because I'll be quilting like crazy once that happens. The other thing I have to share this week is actually on the wall behind me, and this is the Disappearing 9 patch with sashing. For this particular pattern, you make 3 giant 9 patches. I used 8.5-inch squares, 2.5-inch strips for sashing, and then you cut those across the center in both directions, and that gives you 4 blocks from each 9 patch, so you end up with 12, and so that's what this is. And I did not have enough of the bicycle fabric to keep going with that for the sashing, so I did something totally different. I pulled out, this is pearl bracelets, I think is the name of this fabric. I've had it forever. I had like 3/4 of a yard of it, so I cut it all into 2.5-inch strips. Had just enough to get it finished. Have a little bit left over, but not enough for binding. And then I just used like I said, 2.5-inch strips, put that in for the sashing, and I love the way it came out. It's a little wider than with the fabric because I did do 2.5-inch strips instead of 1.5-inch strips, which is what the pattern calls for. But my AccuQuilt Go cuts 2.5-inch strips, and I didn't want to cut 1.5-inch strips, so I'll just piece it back, and it'll be a great size for a teenager. I actually have it turned sideways right now, so this is like the direction it goes, because if you guys follow me on social media, you saw last week that one of my cats, Dipper, my tuxedo kitty, likes to try to climb my design wall, and he had done it enough that he had pulled down one side and ripped holes everywhere it was attached to the wall. So I took it all down last week. I washed it. I folded under the edge because I use a flat flannel sheet. I folded under the edge that was a little too wide where the holes were instead of on the other side, which is where I had it folded before. And then down here, which I don't think you can see, but that's fine, down here I have a giant flat box so that he can't climb my design wall. So what I do is when I need the design wall, I will close the door and make sure he is not in the room so he can't climb the wall. And when the door's open, the the cardboard boxes in front of my design wall so that we will hopefully not have a repeat of Mr. Mountain Climber. So I will be going to QuiltCon on Friday. I'm going with my friend Domine. We're going to meet up with Jennifer Rolls. We're actually going to ride the train down because there is a park and ride really close to where we live. So we're going to jump on that. And the last stop is right across from the convention center. So I don't have to drive in downtown Austin. I don't have to park in downtown Austin. So we're going to take the Austin Metro downtown. So that'll be great. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be really fun. I'm not planning a meetup. I've already had a couple people email me, ask me if we're having a Fandom and Stitches meetup. I am not planning one, but if you're going to be at QuiltCon and you want to have a meetup, totally do that. If it's on Friday and I can, I might stop by. Otherwise, look for my face, look for my Fandom and Stitches bag, and just stop me and say hi. I'm totally cool with that. I don't mind at all if you want to stop and say hi. Otherwise, we're going for quilts. We're going for vendors. I'm not doing any classes or anything. I'm just looking forward to having a day that's quilty and out with my friends and just a day of like no responsibilities is basically what I'm looking for here. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a really fun time. Don't forget to stop by Fandom and Stitches tomorrow for another installment of the Kingdom Hearts Quilt Along that continues to go well, and I love seeing what everyone is doing with Jeannie's great patterns. There's a lot going on in Fandom and Stitches right now. The queue is really, really long, and we've got 4 or 5 pattern posts a week. So if there's some project you're looking for, it's probably there somewhere. So I hope you guys check at least occasionally or follow us on Facebook or Instagram, because that you will see all the cool new stuff that our amazing designers are coming out with. That is going to be it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope you have a crafty week, and I will see you next week. Bye.